Hello everyone, my name is Aastha. I welcome you all to our classes for International English Olympiad for class 6th. This is our 18th class wherein we will be doing the topic of punctuation. We will be understanding various punctuation marks and their correct usages in various scenarios. Then we will be moving to the questions and they will also serve as examples for you. Alright, so let's get started.
Today's class, the format will be like this. First of all, we will be learning about the introduction as to what punctuation really is, and then this will be followed by how to use various punctuation marks, what is the correct usage, etc. This will be followed by various examples, and then in the end, we will be doing a little quiz. And these quiz, here the questions will be based on the mock questions as per the pattern of IEO. So we will do various punctuation marks, how to use them, when to use them correctly, then followed by various examples, and then in the end we will be doing our quiz. Alright, let's start. Alright, so first we will understand what punctuation really is, its meaning. Now punctuation refers to a mark such as full stop, comma or a question mark used in writing to separate sentences and their elements and to clarify the meaning. So what is punctuation? Punctuation refers to a mark. And what are the examples of such marks? Like full stops, like commas, like question marks. We will be doing further more punctuation marks in the following slide, but this is just a brief meaning that punctuation includes various marks. And what are they used for? What is the purpose? They are used in writing to separate sentences and their elements. Separate various sentences and elements and clarify the meaning. So various punctuation marks या में sentences और उनके elements क्या होते हैं? जैसे sentence के अंदर the subject, the predicate, the various words, the actions. So all these elements to separate them and also to clarify the meaning. To clarify the meaning. कैसे full stop से हमें कैसे क्या पता चलेगा कि यहाँ sentence खत्म हो गया? हमें comma से क्या पता चलेगा? जैसे कि अब we are referring to more words, more clauses. और question mark से क्या पता चलेगा कि ये question है. So ऐसे ही to clarify meaning. So this is the basic definition of punctuation. Basic understanding आपको होनी चाहिए कि punctuation होती क्या है. These include marks, full stops, commas, question marks, which are used in writing to separate the sentences and their elements and to clarify meaning. Alright, I hope the meaning is clear. Now we will move on to the next slide. Alright, so now we begin with various punctuation marks. The first one is period or full stop. Here is the full stop. We know what a full stop is. Let's see its various uses. First of all, it is used at the end of a sentence. This is pretty easy that it is used at the end of a sentence. For example, I will decide what to wear and a full stop. So full stops are used at the end of a sentence. When you have completed a sentence, you put a full stop. Then it is also used at the end of a command. When you're giving a command to somebody, open the door. Right? When you're commanding someone to open the door, get me a glass of water. Or like something like sit down. So these kind of commands we use full stop. Then at the end is used at the end of an indirect question. Now, indirect question, suppose, see, a direct question is me asking you just this: which book did you refer for history? And for this, we would have used a question mark. Alright, which book did you refer for history? But in case of an indirect question, what happens is you don't this is not a direct question, it is an indirect question where you say, I am asking which book did you refer for history. So this is an indirect question, although it is a question, but it does not really have a question mark because it is not a direct question. It is being asked in an indirect manner. So you use full stop in this case. Then it is used in abbreviations. Like here, the sentence is, I like mangoes, strawberries, etc. for breakfast. So etc. etc. dot. This is an abbreviation for etc. So here you use full stop to show that this is an abbreviation. And at the end of all these sentences, so when is the period or a full stop used? At the end of a sentence, at the end of a command, like open the door. It is used at the end of an indirect question, like I'm asking which book did you refer for history? And it is used in abbreviations like I like mangoes, strawberries, etc. for breakfast. Alright, let's move on to the next punctuation. Alright, so now this is also part of punctuation as to where a capital letter is used. Now capital letters are used in these following criteria, these following ways. When we are telling about days or months, like here, day we talk about Monday or Tuesday, any day of the week, we use a capital letter. Then when we're talking about the month, April, so A is capital. Then whenever the pronoun I is used, whenever due to I, it is never, only a single I. We don't write it like this. This is incorrect. We write in capital manner. For example, Jack and I are going to a concert tonight. Then when we refer to first names, Mary, John, Alexander, Elizabeth, and any first name, we use the first letter is capital here and here. And similarly, when we tell surnames, Brown, Smith, Clinton, Obama, any surname, your first letter is capital. Similarly, when we are talking about any titles like Queen, like Doctor, any other profession, Professor, Prince, King, so we use the first letter is capital. Then countries first letter is capital. India, Australia, Spain, any country. Towns and cities like London, L capital, New York, N and Y capital, Hong Kong, HK capital, so on. Places and buildings like the White House, so T, W and H capital. The Eiffel Tower, here I, E and T, E, Eiffel Tower, first letters are capital. Street names, rivers, lakes and oceans like the Thames, Lake Victoria, Atlantic Ocean, A capital. Mountains and volcanoes, Mount Everest, M and E capital. Alps, A capital. Mount Vesuvius. Religious terms like Catholic, Christian, Methodist, Hindu, God, Allah, all these first letters capital. Languages, English, E is capital. Spanish, French, Italian. Then nationalities, American, A, Norwegian, N capital, Greek, G capital, English, E capital, Russian, R capital. Any brand names, Pepsi, P capital, Mercedes, M capital, Chanel, C capital, Vuitton, V capital, Rolex, R capital. Any companies or organizations like Apple, A capital, Google, G capital, Amazon, A capital, IKEA, I capital, BBC, it's a short form, so all of it is capital. United Nations, UN, N capital. Holidays and festivals, Christmas, Easter, Halloween, all these. So you see capital letters in English. They're also a very important part of punctuation. So you have to remember where you have to make the first letter of that particular word as capital. Alright, let's move on now. Okay, so the next punctuation is a comma. Punctuation mark is comma. We all know what a comma is, right? This is how a comma looks like. So when is comma used? It is used after the expression. Suppose we're talking about we use some expression like fortunately or unfortunately or afterwards or next or then, now. These kind of expressions, after them a comma is used. You see here the comma, and at the end we use our full stop. Then next usage could be, it is used after the use of a past participle. Now while driving, this is a past participle being used, that past participle is while driving. And then what happened? I could see the trees passing by. So while driving is the past participle. So after the usage of the past participle, a comma is used. Then comma could also be used to separate sentences. For example, I went to the market, comma, and purchased a few boards. So these are two separate sentences. इनको हम दो separate sentences में कैसे लिखेंगे? I went to the market, full stop. I and की जगह I purchased a few boards, full stop. But we are joining these two sentences, writing them together. So to show these two separate sentences in one sentence, we say I went to the market, comma, and purchased a few boards, full stop. Alright, the other usage could be, it is used to set off quoted words. Quoted words. For example, she said, comma. Now when we are telling about what someone has said exactly, when we are quoting somebody else, that what she said, she said, and the exact words, I am telling her exact words. Then she said, then we use a comma and then give her quoted words. Alright, so when is comma used? It is used after the expression. It is used after the use of past participle. It is used to separate sentences. And it is used to set off quoted words. Alright, now let's move on to the next punctuation mark. Alright, so for comma we have a few more usage, like comma is used when an adverb clause is used. Like here, after, when we are talking about this expression, this clause, that after is a adverb, right? After is an adverb. So after mom arrives, then we all should have our dinner. So after mom arrives is the adverb clause. So after this, we will be using a comma and then giving the rest of the sentence. Next, it is used to separate parts of a date. For example, my graduation date is May 24, 2017. So graduation date, May 24 and a comma and the year. So you're talking about the month, date, and the year, and we're using a comma in the middle. Alright, so these are the two more usages of comma. Let's move on. Now question mark is probably one of the easiest, punctuation mark. It is being used when it indicates a question being asked. Like, would you like some milk? Question mark. How do I look? Question mark. Will you come to my place tomorrow? Question mark. So I'm pretty sure that you will never make a mistake in the punctuation which requires a question mark. This is one of the easiest. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so here we have quotation marks. Now these are quotation marks. Like we use opening quotation marks, then we in whatever the statement or whatever sentence or clause is there, and then we close the quotation marks. So they are used to enclose a direct quotation. When are they used? To enclose a direct quotation, which means a person's exact words. Like here, my mom said, and we are quoting the exact words of mom. Okay, we are not using this in indirect speech. We are telling this whatever mom said directly. My mom said, and comma. Remember we talked about this in comma when we are quoting somebody. So after we tell that, you know, this person said or that person said. So my mom said, and comma, and then we say, if you don't finish your homework, I won't order pizza today. Right? So many punctuation marks in here. We have a comma, we have quotation marks here, we have another comma here, we have full stop and quotation marks closed. Alright, so using a person's exact words, that's when quotation marks are used. Similarly, we have, he asked, what is your age? So here, again, after he asked, we put in a comma, and then the exact question, the exact words are enclosed in the quotation marks. This is the first usage. Then the second usage is to identify any titles or works or references. For example, we have the Diary of a Young Girl. It is written by Anne Frank. So we have put in her book title and her work in a quotation mark. Then we referred to the Maroon 5 song, Yellow. And Yellow is the title of the song. It's the work of Maroon 5. So it's put in it's enclosed in the quotation marks. Alright, so these are two broad usages. Let's move on. Alright, so the next punctuation mark we have is an apostrophe. Now when is an apostrophe used? It's like this. Suppose we have to tell about some contractions. Contractions are the words, there are two words which are joined together to form a shorter one, wherein the first one is used completely and the second one, a part of it, is used with an apostrophe, like here. Like isn't stands for is not, haven't stands for have not, won't stands for will not. Other way in which an apostrophe can be used is telling about the possession of something or someone. Like here, my brother's house is just round the corner. Brother's house. Here you use an apostrophe to tell about the possession of who? Possession of the brother. Then there's this rule that we must follow, which is if we are adding possession in plural form or for words ending in S, we use this apostrophe after the S. Like here we have mathematics book. Now this is mathematics, it ends in S, so we use the apostrophe after that. And for other plurals as well, if there's any plural, then you use the apostrophe just after the S, like this. Alright. So that was for the another punctuation mark, apostrophe. Okay, so here up we have another punctuation mark, very interesting one, exclamation mark. Some people who just use exclamation mark as and when they like. However, there are certain rules for exclamation marks as well. They are used to show any emotions of, say, shock or surprise or anger or raised voice. Shock, like if someone says, "This house is on fire," that's shock. Use an exclamation mark after that. For surprise, like, "Wow, this dress looks amazing." So wow, that shows an emotion of surprise. Then anger, like, "How dare you do that?" So that's anger, and for that, again, we can use an exclamation mark. And for raised voice, when someone is talking to you in a raised voice, like here, "You are late for the third time this week despite warnings." This is also these emotions of shock, surprise, anger, raised voice, which means, you know, strong emotions. That's one way in which an exclamation mark is used. All right. Now the next usage of exclamation mark is as an interjection. Interjection, like here, "Ouch, my finger is stinging." So you know that's sort of an interjection. You say something suddenly, that's an interjection. Then another way which we can use an exclamation mark in is as a strong command. Now when someone is sort of ordering you, like, you know, "Get up and get moving," or like, "Hurry up," or "Come on," or "Sit down," or "Stand up," commands like these strong commands, that's when an exclamation mark is used. All right. Alright, so now let's take the quiz. Punctuation marks, we have done a few broad ones which are important for your reference. And for the IEO, these are the broad categories which are being asked, so I have only covered them for you. And the rest you will learn in your future classes as you move up your grades. So that was all for punctuation. Probably you will be given some sort of unpunctuated, non-punctuated questions where you will have to punctuate them correctly. And the rest, there will be other categories of questions as well, which we will see in the questions. All right, now it's time for the quiz. Alright, so for the quiz, what we will be doing is, now every question you will be given 1 minute. 1 minute means 60 seconds. Why am I giving you 1 minute? Because you see, your question paper of IEO, it has about 50 questions, and so you can imagine that, you know, you get more or less a minute to answer the questions. Now this 1 minute is the maximum that you should be taking for answering the question. Now suppose there could be two, three categories of students. First category, suppose you answer the question within that 1 minute. So I would request you to fast forward the video and skip right to the answer. You should not be wasting your time. Alright. Now the other students who are not able to answer the question in 1 minute, what you do, you don't skip to the answer. You pause the video and you write down your answer. Alright, it is very important to answer each and every question because there is no negative marking. Here you see, for every incorrect answer, no points, because there is no negative marking in IEO, so it is important that you attempt all the questions. Now for a question of which you are not sure about the answer, now even here and even in the exam, if you are not sure about the answer and you maybe think that B option might be correct or C option might be correct, so you should in that case Play your luck and play your mind and make a guess and still give an answer, because it is a win-win situation. Either you will get the marks for that question or you will get a 0, right? But if you don't attempt that question at all, then you are anyway getting a 0 in that, right? So it is good to attempt those questions, and even if you don't know all the answers, try to understand and take a guess. Okay, so this is for every correct answer 10 points. This is just for your own little game, where you can try to maintain a notepad. So here you write the name of the chapter and then the question, and then if it is correct, you can give yourself 10 points. If it is not correct, you mark it here. So it is important to see these questions, the ones which you mark incorrect. It is important to go back to them later and then see where you did the mistake. Alright, this is just for your reference. For every correct answer, you can give yourself 10 points. Alright, now let's start. Okay, so now we start with the questions. The first category of the questions say, choose the sentence with the correct punctuation marks. So how we're going to solve these questions is, we see the unpunctuated sentence here, we will punctuate it on our own. Alright, and then we will choose the one which matches our punctuation. Let's see here. Okay, so we start with my. My is the first word of the sentence. It is supposed to start with a capital letter. So my M capital. My favorite movie is the Jurassic Park. Alright, so then here, the Jurassic Park. Now, Jurassic Park is the title of a movie, and for referring to certain titles, certain words, what do we use? Quotation marks. So here opening and closing. Then at the end, we use a full stop. And also Jurassic Park, here it is a title, so their first letters will be capital, J will be capital and P will be capital. Alright, so accordingly the correct answer is B. My favorite movie is the Jurassic Park. The other options you see here in A, here T is capital and no full stop. Then in C, F is capital, M is capital and no quotation marks and a question mark. Then in D, here unnecessary comma and no quotation marks and an exclamation mark, which is incorrect. Alright. So here, Monali said, I have come first in the race. Let's start. Start with Monali. Monali is the name of a person. Also, it is the word with which the sentence is starting. So M will be capital. And then Monali said. So this is a sentence that Monali is saying. So after which we will be putting a comma because we have to start at quotation marks for the exact words she said. Right. Then we put quotation marks here. And here I is a pronoun. It will be capital. Then in the end, we close the quotation marks and have the full stop. Alright, so here let's see which is the correct one. Here, see, Monali said, I have come first in the race. Alright. Okay, here. Open page 53 of your book, said Mrs. C. Now we can figure out that these are the exact words that Mrs. Sane is saying. So her whatever she is saying, that will be put in quotation marks. So we'll start the quotation marks from here. And here O will be capital. Then open page 53 of your book. Right. Here the quotation marks end. And then which one do we put? We put a comma after the dialogue is finished. Said Mrs. Sane. Here Mrs. is a title. So here M will be capital. Then we'll have S, Mrs. Sane. So S will be capital for Sane. And then we'll have a full stop. Alright. So here the correct answer is D. Open page 53 of your book, said Mrs. Sane. Okay, now next here, I found Mita's lost bag. So here I, the pronoun I is always capital. Also it is the first word of the sentence, so its initial has to be capitalized. Then Mita's lost bag. Mita is the name of a person for which M will be capital. Then we are talking about the possession here. So we'll have an apostrophe after Mita. Mita's lost bag, and then we'll have a full stop. Alright. So the correct answer is A. I found Mita's lost bag. Alright. Okay, so here, let's see. Oh dear, did I really hurt you? Let's see. Now, oh dear. Oh, the O will be capital. Oh dear. Then oh dear, it's an exclamation, right? So we'll put an exclamation mark here. So oh dear. And then after that, here did, D will be capital. Did I really hurt you? Now, I is a pronoun. I pronoun is always capital. It will be capitalized. Did I really hurt you? This is a question mark. There will be a question mark. Why? Because it's a question. So we have an exclamation, then a question. So the correct answer is B. Oh dear, did I really hurt you? Alright, so here, John Keats' poems are masterpieces in English literature. So first of all, we're talking about John Keats. Now, John Keats is a poet. So his name is John Keats. Here J will be capital, and here Keats. Alright, his surname is Keats. Now it may seem like we're talking about John Keat, and then we're using this S and apostrophe to show his possession, like his poems, but that will be incorrect because his name is Keats, and then we will be putting for possession we will be putting an apostrophe S, but here his surname is already ending in S, so where will we put the apostrophe? After S. Okay, so this will be the correct one. So John Keats' poems are masterpieces in English literature. Here we're talking about English literature, which is a particular noun, a particular theme. So here again, E will be capital and L will be capital. Alright, the correct answer is, and at the end we'll have a full stop. Correct answer is, yeah, D. Okay.
So
Okay, this one's pretty easy. Do they have faith in God? Do, D will be capital, and they have faith in God here. God, G will be capital. Alright, now any holy names like of God or any holy scriptures, we keep that in capital. And then in the end, question mark, it is because it is a question. So the correct answer is C. Here, girls' school is near the post office in Ambala. Right here, let's start. Girls' school. Here, G will be capital. And then we talk about girls' school. Here, we're talking about the possession but in plural. Right, so where will be the apostrophe? Here, after S. Girls' school is near the post office in Ambala. Here, Ambala is the name of a place. So A will be capital. And then in the end, we'll have a full stop. So the correct answer is A. Girls' school is near the post office in Ambala.
So your
Okay, so here, hurrah, my favorite team has won. Let's see, hurrah, it will be capital, then it's an exclamation, so we'll put an exclamation mark here. And then here, after this, we will start M with a capital letter. My favorite team has won. Then we'll put a full stop in the end. Alright, pretty easy. Correct answer is C. Hurrah, my favorite team has won.
so your
Okay, here, pretty long sentence, but we'll do it step by step. It will be easy. Let's see. Kalpana Chawla was selected to attend Punjab Engineering College at Chandigarh. Okay, Kalpana Chawla. KNC will be capital because it is the name of a person who was selected to attend Punjab Engineering College. It is the name of a specific institution. So all its initials will be capital, right? So E capital, and C capital. Then we have at Chandigarh. Here Chandigarh. It's the name of a city. So its initial C will also be capital. Then full stop. The correct answer is which one? Here, yes, B. Kalpana Chawla was selected to attend Punjab Engineering College at Chandigarh.
so your
And right here, choose the correctly punctuated sentence. The things you will need are cocoa, sugar, flour, milk and baking powder. Let's see. The things. Your T will be capital. Things you will need are cocoa, sugar, flour, milk and baking powder. So all these words, they will have to be separated by what? Commas. Cocoa, comma, sugar, comma, flour, comma, milk and baking powder. And then we have a full stop in the end. Okay, so the correct answer here is yes, A. The things you will need are cocoa, sugar, flour, milk and baking powder.
So your time.
Alright, so here people's opinions matter a lot. So here people's P will be capital, then people's opinions. So here now people is a word which is already in plural. Alright, so you should not make the mistake कि ये peoples है और हम apostrophe यहाँ लगा देंगे. This will be incorrect because the word people already means more than one person. So people is already in plural. So to making the possession, like to making the possession in the sense like the opinion of people. So here we will be using apostrophe after E. To be very careful in this one. People is already plural. Don't make the mistake of thinking that people's is plural. Alright. So this one, people's opinions matter a lot. That's it, full stop. The only tricky part was here in people. Alright. So the correct answer is here, C. People's opinions matter a lot. Alright, with this we finish off the questions on punctuation.
That's all for a class on punctuation. I hope you have understood you have gotten the basic idea about various punctuation marks. Make sure you revise these concepts and make sure you use the correct punctuation marks while you are doing any sort of writing skills as well. Alright, so that's all for this concept. Keep revising and keep learning. I will see you in the next class, and the next class will be of the sample paper. We have completed all the conceptual classes. This was the last conceptual class. In the next class, we will be doing the sample paper. So make sure you do the next class only when you have revised all the concepts. Alright, I will see you the next time. Thank you for watching.